Three women vanished from inside their quiet home. Their purses, car keys, and shoe were still there. By morning, all three had disappeared, and in over 30 years, no one knew of them has ever been found. On the night of June 6th, 1992, in Springfield, Missouri, 19-year-old Suzanne Streeter was hosting a small get together at her mother's house. By the end of the night, it was just Suzanne and her mother, Cheryl Levitt, and Suzanne's friend Stacy McCall, who was staying over instead of driving home. By the next morning, all three women were gone, not missing in the sense of left anywhere, gone from inside the very house where they had spent the night. Here's what made this different from a simple disappearance. Nothing was taken, their purses were still in the house, Stacy's car was still parked outside, keys in the ignition, Suzanne's shoes were still by the door, Cheryl's porch light fixture had been broken, was found lying on the lawn, and the only sign that anything unusual had happened at all. There was no forced entry, no signs of a struggle inside, no blood. It looked, investigators said, as if the woman had simply vanished mid motion while getting ready for bed. Neighbors reported hearing a scream around 2 a.m. and seeing a pickup truck circling the block around the night. Description a source of intense scrutiny for years afterward. A witness came forward decades later claiming knowledge of what happened, but police were never able to substantiate the claims enough to bring charges. Multiple persons of interest have been named publicly by amateur investigators over the years. None have ever been formally charged, and two of the most discussed suspects have since died without ever facing prosecution. The case received national attention, featured on America's Most Wanted multiple times, and remains one of the most extensively investigated missing persons case in Missouri history. Despite tips numbering in the thousands, ground searches across multiple countries, and cadaver dog searches on properties tied to persons of interest, no trace of the three women has ever surfaced. No remains, no physical evidence, nothing. In 1997, 5 years after the disappearance, someone claiming to know what happened places an anonymous phone call to a woman identifying herself as Susan Streeter's relative. Investigators considered the call important, but it was traced to a payphone and never led to a suspect. To date, the identity of the caller remains unknown. What makes the Springfield 3 case so unsettling isn't just the three women disappeared, it's how completely ordinary the night was right up until it wasn't. A sleepover, a good night, and then silence in a house that should have made it impossible for anyone to vanish without a trace. Cheryl Levitt's porchlight had become something of a symbol of true crime circles, proof that something happened in that instant of darkness, even if no one has ever been able to say exactly what. 3 decades later, the Springfield 3 are still missing and their case remains open. If you have theory about what happened that night, drop it in the comments. Subscribe to Mystery Pool for a new unsolved mystery every single day.